Yeah, I'm at home and trying to figure out some ways to practice. Um, Working on the serve right now. I'm going to use a shorter racket. But what I'm doing is I want to practice spin. And so when you think about serving, you're hit, you know, you have top spin, you're hitting up in the ball. So this is a great way of practicing. You're training your wrist. I know it's the last part of your kinetic chain is your wrist, but it does give you the motion. A lot of times people hold the racket too tight. Pancho Gonzalez, great server. He would hold a very loose grip when he served, and he also would when he served, he'd let go of the fingers like this, and so he used that index finger to turn the racket quite a bit. Uh, Great server, and so I think he was back in the 40s and 50s, 1940, 1950, great Spanish champion. And so here I'm practicing just serve, and I try to tell the young people that I help with tennis, I try to help them to develop spin. And one of the things you can buy a Topspin Pro, and they're kind of nice and they're professional, but you also just take a paint roller, a paintbrush, a paint roller, and just practice spinning. And so right now I'm practicing going up. You notice the edge when you go up, that's topspin, causes a downward spin. Or I can take, I have a few other devices that I use. I can also take this and I can just hold it in my hand, turn sideways, and now what's happening is I'm practicing side spin, okay? Or if I want to practice backspin, I'm going to go this way. Or if I'm going to go around the other way, I can practice the other way also. But it helps to be able to uh, develop the spin that I want or the looseness that I want when I serve. And so what a great way of practicing. You can also make one where you practice with your forehand. I'm using a smaller racket because what I want to do is I want to practice with the cap up, the cap, letting the cap go down and then going forward. It's much easier with a smaller racket. And I think sometimes when you use a small racket or you choke up in your racket, you're going to get more control. It takes a while before you're used to choking up and using a shorter racket. Or I'll even volley like that sometimes when the ball's coming at me. Instead of holding the racket all the way down, I'll just slide it like a slide there, and slide right up and then hit it, and that helps quite a bit too. And so it takes a while before you get a good hit if you shorten your racket. If I take a big racket and I shorten it, you don't get a nice hit. But once you start practicing a little bit, then you get used to using a shorter racket. Just like when you go longer, you're going to get more whip with your wrist. You're going to get more power. Okay. And so what I'm trying to emphasize here though is spinning and practice, finding some ways that you can practice your serve. And here's another device I made. I put a wheel on it, and now I'm sitting in a chair right now, just one of those desk chairs, because I like how it swivels. And so we're here, I'm practicing going up, okay, and just practicing on the side. If I want to, I can practice backspin this way, okay. That's going under a little bit like that, or I can practice this way. And so I like to do things both right-handed and left-handed. I like to do it with the front of my racket, the face of the racket, but also the back side of my racket, so I'm strengthening my wrist. In fact, I can serve that way too and create a different type of spin on my serve. And so learning how to spin, hitting up on the ball is a great way of practicing. And so here I'm just kind of leaning back and practicing. It's the last part of the kinetic chain is your wrist, but you're learning how to spin the ball. Okay, so find ways to practice your serve at home. Like I said, I have a paintbrush here, a paintbrush roller, and just brush it up. Great way to practice. Just sit in a chair and just practice brushing it up, okay? Edge of the racket goes up, edge. And then later if you want to go inside, okay, where the edge of the racket's like this, okay? And so I would use this one here. I also have this, I kind of make quite a few different ones, okay? And this one here, I'll take this one out, put this one in here. Now I have this one here. Now I can practice going more on the side of the ball, okay? So that's there. Now what you can do is you can take your racket, and I'm using these small rackets now. If I want topspin, I practice this way, going up, like this. Take the racket, put it in the side, and I go around it, and so I'm practicing side. If I want to practice flat, then I'm going to hit like this, okay? And notice I'm going to use that index finger. A lot of times people are holding it so tight, and so I like to use that finger, and it turns my racket, and I let the fingers go and become real loose. So I got that top spin, I go up like this, or I can go side spin, or I can go back spin here, or I can go flat, and if I had another way, I'd go the other way, go on the other reverse. Okay, I'm not sure there it'd be like that. Okay, where you go at 9 o'clock. Okay, and so you think of a clock. You got 12, 6, 3, 9, and so you're going around at 3 o'clock here. Okay, you're hitting the face of the racket from 12 to 6 here, or you're going around 9 o'clock, which is the other way. You can go slant your racket and go 7 to 1. It's a great way of hitting it. Or you can just go right up from 6 to 12, 6 to, you're going, in topspin, you're going this way, going up on the racket. So just a kind of little demonstration. Use a small racket and develop that looseness in your wrist. Use a paint roller. It develops, your spin, okay? And if you spin, as one person said, he uses it quite often, if you spin, you win. I also can turn it this way, and now I can practice my topspin. Getting my last part of my kinetic chain, that wrist, being able to be loose, not tight. And so often people have trouble being loose. And so it's a great way of practicing. I hope this helped for my students. It's just simple. It's simple stuff that you can do at home. Just do it for a few minutes. You don't have to do it for hours. Just do it, a couple minutes a day. Put a timer on, and you'll see, a couple minutes a day is going to help you develop your serve.